Hi! This video is part of a series of the week in the life. If you haven't seen the previous video, then go and check those first and then come back to this one. Morning, happy Thursday. So I start every sentence with so. I have just dropped tea at school and this week is turning into a clean with me, a speed clean with me. But that is just my life. So if you want to see my life, you said you wanted to see the mundane and boring too, so this is it. Welcome. Hi, stick around. So I'm going to do my cleaning, my half an hour of the organised mum cleaning. Today is kitchens and it's also garden. I kind of put those two together, kitchen and garden. Okay, let's get this done. And then I'm seeing a friend later that I haven't seen in maybe 6 or 8 months. So I'm going to see her and her little ones and I'm really excited about that. But let's get cleaning first. Okay, let's go. So the evening's passed and I collected tea from school and we had dinner and we've done bed and the day's just kind of gone and I haven't filmed anymore since the last clip you saw. So we're going to do a question and answer together. I've got loads of questions that I'm always being sent on Instagram and I'm going to answer them with Jim for you. So the first question is why we wanted to start and how it came to be. So you didn't want to start. You didn't want to start in the first place anyway, did you?
No, it was never on my idea.
So
it was.
What were we gonna do? Remember, we were gonna do respite.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. Yeah, we were gonna respite every other weekend, something like that. But keep our normal jobs.
Yeah, so we're going to keep our normal jobs, but just look after foster children like every other weekend or like once a month or something, didn't we? And then I just kind of wore you down a little bit, didn't I?
Yeah, well, you weren't enjoying work anymore.
No.
Was the turning point.
Yeah.
You stopped enjoying work.
And we found out that you could get paid from foster care, which is something that we didn't even know.
We thought it was something that you just did for fun.
Yeah, we were just going to volunteer and just help some parents out, basically.
Yeah.
But when we realised that actually financially we could afford to do it, then I got quite excited about it, didn't I?
Yeah, and it
snowballed. And then we did the weekend training.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was when you kind of
came around.
Yeah, no, you did. You could see us doing it.
Yeah.
I think that was a big change in you. Like, that was the shift, I think.
Yeah.
And how it came to be, yeah, so that is how it came to be. It kind of just escalated, didn't it, from there?
Yeah. I mean, the very start was what I see as the start is you seeing kids at your school
who
needed a break like the families needed a break.
Yeah, to be able to stay together and
so
stay
that the
strong.
families could stay together, to give
Yeah.
the rest of the family a rest. And like that was the very start, was you saw the need, and
Yeah.
we had the time and
And the
resources
space. Yeah,
and
that was
space
exactly it, actually.
to accommodate
Yeah.
that
And I just
need.
wanted to be generous with what we had, because we
Yeah.
had the spare room, we had this spare time, we were doing fun things at the weekend anyway, and it just kind of made sense that we would support a family by offering a break to them. And then the more I learned about it, the more actually I saw that it would still be a waste of room if it was only used once every 2 weeks, because there's even more greater need for full-time carers, I think. And then I managed to like get into that, and then and having been a special needs teacher as well, like we were kind of set that would be what we would do, and then it just kind of went from there, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was a really long answer, didn't I?
That was a really long
That's fine.
answer.
We could do a whole video just on that, I reckon. What about the process? What is the process? And was it what you expected it to be? That's kind of a loaded question as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I thought it would be. Very thorough.
Yeah.
I don't want to say intrusive. It's not like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fairly.
Yeah.
Intrusive's the wrong word, but
They want to know everything.
they want to know everything. They don't probe and probe and probe, but they want to. I mean, they have to check you at the end of the day. They have to make sure you're safe. So
we had medical checks.
Mhm.
They checked the house. They spoke to friends and family.
Yeah.
They asked us individually and together about like our background and how we deal with certain situations.
Yeah.
Lots of checks. Oh, obviously police checks. Like work check, didn't they? They checked work. Basically every where that we would be, they checked, which is really good. Obviously it's about keeping children safe, and it's also about matching the right child to the right people as well. How did you feel about the process? Did you hate it? Wish it was quicker? Wish it was...
I mean, it could have done with being quicker, but that was my fault mainly because we couldn't pass the house safety check couldn't get passed until I had finished building most of the house.
Yeah.
So ours took about a year to complete, but it should have, I mean, apart from the health and safety check, we were ready to go in
After
about
4 months.
4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
something
it should
like
normally
that.
take about that, but the delay was just we were doing an extension at the time, so it just wasn't ready.
Fault. It shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, but I'm pleased it was done then, and then trying to negotiate that now.
Yeah.
So we did it the right way around. It just meant it was a little bit more delayed, didn't it?
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed the process of it actually. I thought, despite it being quite intrusive, I quite enjoyed us reflecting on how we will deal in certain situations, and kind of it's a really good way of preparing for parenthood anyway. Having not been parents at all, they'll ask you what you'd do in certain situations, and it was a way of seeing what Jim's ideals were and what my ideals were, and kind of coming to an agreement in that kind of sense as well.
Yeah.
So it was quite. I would say it was quite useful. It wouldn't put me off if I did it again. I wouldn't say to people, "Oh God, no, that was awful. You won't like that." Actually, it wasn't.
The only time it would be awful was if you've got something to hide.
Yeah, exactly. And then you shouldn't be a foster carer anyway. So definitely, if you're nervous about the whole intrusive checks, which I think does put a lot of people off, I would say
don't worry about it.
Doesn't.
Fine.
She was really lovely, wasn't she? Our supervisor who did it.
Lovely lady.
Yeah, it's the same person every time. Really friendly. It's quite a chilled vibe, isn't it? It's not like an interrogation.
Yeah.
Is it? It's just a chat.
Sit and have a chat on the sofa.
Yeah. It's nothing to worry about, and the house check isn't anything to worry about, is it? And we were quite worried about it, but actually, it's really not. They are thorough. But like Jim says, if you haven't got anything to hide, then you can. It's actually quite an enjoyable process, isn't it?
Yeah.
How we prepped for the first night. So what was the first day or night like? Obviously, from our point of view, we're not sharing too much about.
No, I'd say our night would be very different to a lot of foster carers' nights because it wasn't an emergency.
Right.
We knew exactly who we were preparing for because we'd met him twice.
Yes.
We knew the child, we knew the circumstances, we knew everything. Give up like as much as you can ever know. It was an emergency, so prep was I don't know.
We had clothes in the wardrobe.
We had everything. It's no different to you having your own biological baby. You know the baby's coming, so you get what you need ready.
You still don't know what it's going to be like, but you can be prepared.
If anything, we can prepare more than having a biological child because
we even had some of his toys at house, didn't we?
Yeah.
We bought some of them before. But lots of foster care situations aren't like that. Lots of them are emergency. It's only because as a long-term placement, a planned placement, that we could meet him first and had an integrated week, didn't we, before he came to stay with us, which is a bit more like adoption, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
how
smooth.
that was sorted.
Transition.
And it was quite smooth.
It was really,
compared to what I was expecting. Really. Okay, on that note, I'm going to go to a question that somebody asked me this week from Becky Lashley this week asked, is foster care only temporary? So I think that's what people assume, that there's another goal that you're looking for.
In our case, no, it's not temporary. It's a planned long-term placement.
It's very unlikely that children with special needs or sibling groups or older children will be adopted. It's very, very unlikely, just because adoptive couples usually look for young babies. So there are so many children in the foster care system that adoption isn't an option for them, but it's not then that's not part of the prescribed plan. It would be out of the ordinary for that to happen, and so often looking into the future, foster care is seen as more of a permanent thing. Ideally, these kids will be placed into long-term foster placements like that we've got now, so it's a bit more secure and a bit more settled, rather than emergency placements or short-term placements where they're kind of, and I'm sure everybody
just start to get settled, tear away from those new friends, new family, new school, they're just start to get settled and then torn away.
Which does happen in long-term placements as well if it doesn't work.
And there's always the chance that,
of course there is,
family get the rights to the rights to.
And I think that's kind of her question as well. So is foster care only temporary? I think almost she's asking there, is adoption always the outcome, but also is the idea that they'll go back home? And sometimes that is the case, and that's definitely, all the reviews, it's always looked at is it an option? And sometimes the answer always stays no, and sometimes it adapts and changes. It really does depend on every single situation. But is foster care only temporary? No. Foster care can be permanent too. Another question I got this week was, how does it feel committing to long term?
Well, once we'd made the decision that we weren't going to do the respite care, then we kind of went straight on to
long term.
Let's have a long term then, because we like the idea more of them settling and staying and getting to know us properly. We get to know them properly. It's
almost less heartache in a way, you get to know their family and you can build relationships with the wider family as well, and that is so true.
And it's happened.
Yeah, it has happened in our situation. How I feel about committing to long term has changed since he's been placed in our home. It actually the idea of it terrified me when he first moved here, because it wasn't going well initially, obviously, like with teething and like first moving in and stuff. It was really, really hard and really, really full on. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to let him down. Like, I don't know if I can do this until he's 18. Like, that's 8 years. And I was almost within the first week, almost counting down those 8 years already, because I was committed to it and I didn't want to let anybody down. But it absolutely terrified me that there was little chance that it wouldn't be 8 years. And just looking at that in the future, that distance, and having to do that was absolutely terrifying. I don't know if, did you feel like that as well?
Yeah, I felt exactly the same.
Absolutely terrifying. So even though it kind of comforted us that, okay, we wouldn't be building these bonds and then he'd just be taken away the next night without us really having that much warning, it was also a fear of like, oh my God, like, this is it. Like, we've got to do this now. We've promised.
This is
it's a vow.
long, yeah.
And it's long, yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt to committing to long term.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
Yeah. So it's got good and bad, really, I would say.
Yeah, true.
What will they call us? I think this was an initial question, obviously. What do they call us?
We get Jim, and when he decides that he can use your name, not just her.
Yeah, but it's not.
You.
It's not mum and dad, and I think that's the question. It's not Auntie Jordan and Uncle Jim. It's our names.
Jordan.
We're not his parents. He has parents.
Yeah.
We're Jim and Jordan, and we do the role as parents, but we're not mum and dad for him. Other foster families, I think, do differently, but I think it's encouraged to not call mum and dad. I think it's encouraged to call you your like first names.
Yeah, I mean it's on a case by case again, isn't it?
Of course it is.
But if you've fostered an emergency from a baby, and you've still got them at 10, you are mum, you are dad. You have done everything from the get-go.
I've had lots of families that have never encouraged their foster children to call them that, but they just do anyway, because I don't know, the kid just wants to, I guess, and then that's okay too. Will it be your only job? So
For you, yes.
Yeah, it is my only
Jordan's
job.
full-time
I'm self-employed, and this is my job. And then
I'm a builder, so a normal
full-time.
full-time job, and then I just do dad duties in the evening and on the weekend.
Yeah. And you're still classed as a carer.
Yeah, I still have to go through all of the same checks.
Yeah.
I'm still, like our paperwork is us as a team, our foster carers. It's not just Jordan's a foster carer and I live here.
Yeah.
Our paperwork is us as a duo.
And I think that is the only option. I think that is what happens.
I mean, if you're both living in the same house, I
Yeah.
think that's the only way to do it. But no, it's not my full-time job. I have another job, but yes, it's all you do, isn't it?
Yeah. What have we learned? Last question. No, current thoughts and feelings, and what have we learned? So what have we learned, first of all?
What have we learned?
I've learned so much.
I was going to say, where'd you start?
Like, our life has changed so much in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Because, think about it, we've gone from a couple, like just adults,
do whatever you like,
everyone, be spontaneous.
Spontaneous, go out for the evening.
Go on holiday for the
don't do the work that
weekend.
day, let's go out.
Frivolous, free. And then, so not only have we gone from being first-time parents, we've gone first-time parents to a child that's dealt with trauma, who's older, who's also special needs, and we've got loads of adults in our life, like giving advice and supporting us, but also just giving advice and wanting different things from us. That it is very, very different. So we've learned how to manage the adults how to ask for support and ask for help. We weren't very good at that first.
No, we weren't very good at that.
And now we're really good at it. If anybody asks us for support, anything, we'll be like, yep. Even if we don't need it right there and then. Yeah. Even if we don't need it right there and then, though, we know that as soon as we say no, we will regret saying it because we don't know when the next person's going to ask for help. So we're like, yeah. We have learned... We're quite good at communicating and carving out time for each other. I think we're getting better at.
Yeah.
Because at first, like, I barely saw you. Whereas now...
Well, for a couple of months.
We make sure every evening we have time together.
Because basically it's because we weren't getting supported enough. We weren't getting any respite. We had nothing. We had no school. There was to start with, no tutors, no PAs, no school. Nothing. It was 24/7 care, and I was still at work. I went back to work. Like we had him.
A week maybe.
He came on a Friday night.
I think you started back work on a
and
Tuesday.
I went back on Monday.
Did you?
So I had Saturday, Sunday, and I went back to work the next week.
So 2 days as a free, and then it was just us two.
Just you.
So yeah, we managed it, but we've definitely learned to accept help, communicate with each other, and carve out time for each other. And I think that is so important. But at first, we were just survival mode, weren't we? We were just coping.
Yeah,
I can't even remember much about.
No, neither can I. But that's the way to describe it. Is we were coping. Because it was. So
I really have blanked it out. At the time, I remember thinking, "Oh, this is okay. Like it's not as bad as I thought." But then thinking back now and how good it is now, and then thinking back, oh my god, it was absolute chaos. It was absolute chaos. Like. We were locking everything and hiding everything.
Hiding things.
And there were everything.
Just on edge.
Everything that happened was a new rule. Like, oh yeah, we don't want you to do that. Oh yeah, we don't want you to do that. Like that felt like all I was saying for about 2 days was, let's try not to do that. Let's try not to do that. And mad, absolutely mad. But it is so much calmer now. On the whole, it is so much calmer now. Okay, last question. Current thoughts and feelings. I'm trying to think. Are you pleased you're doing it? Honestly?
Sometimes.
I think that's an honest answer.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah. I think it's really
sometimes
important that we're honest.
On the way home, I don't want to come back to a noisy, messy house. I just want to come back and fall asleep on the sofa.
Yeah.
And I can't. And then you force yourself to stay awake until 8 because that's bedtime. And then I'd like to spend time with you, but by that time I am shot. Yeah. Absolutely shot. And so are you. Yeah. And so we just go.
I'm front of the TV. We're just literally just about. We're just about to do that now as well. I think that's really honest. I think it's really important not to paint the perfect picture. This is an incredible job that I'm doing, and it is really rewarding, but it is really, really hard, and it is really taxing, and you can't. It's not just a 9 to 5. It is 24/7.
Yeah, that's it.
Literally 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Like I can't say that enough. I know people say, "Oh yeah, 24/7." But it is 24/7, like there's no holidays, there's no break, there's no weekend. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 365 days a year, and I've never done a job like that before. It's fine when it doesn't feel like a job on the lovely days, and I just feel so lucky that I get to do this. But on the harder days, it really does feel like a job.
And you're waiting for a Friday, but the Friday
and the Friday never comes, and on day 9, 10, 11, 12, it's like, oh my god, there's no end in sight. Yeah. It's really, really hard. It's really hard, and I really respect you for being honest with that question of your thoughts and feelings, and whether you regret doing it and whether you enjoy doing it. Because I totally agree. It has to be a sometimes, because everybody has good days and bad days, but our bad days at work never end until
it's not like you don't.
Like we don't have control over that.
If you're having a bad day at work, you clock out at 5 and
that's the
go
difference.
home have a beer, go to bed.
Yeah, and
start
sometimes
again
it's
the next
because it's a
day, but-
mistake that you've made at work. Like you'll have a bad day at work because you made a mistake or you forgot to do something. Whereas we're having bad days sometimes because of mistakes other people have made, whether that be social workers or bio parents or whatever. Some of it's like none of our doing, and yet we're dealing with the consequences of that. And that's really hard too. And it's fine if you've got enough energy to deal with that, but it's really hard when you're low in energy and mood as well, and then that hits you and you're like, it's not even my fault.
Yeah.
That can be really frustrating. That can be really hard to like put to one side and channel like what you're really doing. Yeah. Current thoughts and feelings. I guess they just change every day, depending on what kind of day we've had.
If it's a good day, brilliant. Yeah, love it. Great decision. Bad day, what are we doing?
Yeah, I would say though, even the bad days are still better than what I used to have to do in my old
At
job.
school, yeah.
Yeah, in teaching, I would still say our bad days as in foster care are still not as bad, and which is crazy. And I don't even know why, because I used to really like my job, but I just like this so much more. Even the bad days are better. I'll end it there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me and answering some questions. You've saved me for Thursday. See you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for that.
Alright.
Right, narcos.